Today we are going to be looking at how to create a mail piece in e-Certify. The first thing we need to do is go to the Create Tracking page. To begin the process of creating a mail piece, we have to select a profile that is configured correctly for the type of piece we are creating. For example, one profile might be configured to make letters and another might be configured to make flats. We will go more in depth on the importance of profiles and how to configure them in another video. Next, we're going to add the recipient address. There are two ways we can do this. The first is we can add it manually in this text box, and the second is we can get our address from our address book. If you do add your address manually but want to save it for the address book for future use, just click Add to my address book right here. Before moving on, you have the option to validate address here. Validate address confirms that the format of the address is valid and that the address is a valid delivery point. It will not correct the address or guarantee the link between the desired recipient and the address. Now we're going to calculate postage. First, select the proper envelope type. If this confuses you, then just click on the question mark right here to see the definitions of a letter, a flat, and these other options. If you thought you had a letter but actually had a flat, remember to change your profile accordingly. Next, select your payment method. You can use page count if you know the number of total pages you are sending, including your banner page, but you can also use weight if your facility has the capability to weigh pieces, or if you are unsure of the total number of pages you are sending. You can also select postage. Depending on what kind of payment method you selected, provide the appropriate data here. After calculating postage, you have the option to enter any custom fields you would like associated with your piece. For example, your tracking label can be set up to display custom fields on your banner page. These custom field labels can be configured on the custom field menu, which we will go over in another video. This red asterisk indicates that I am required to put something in this custom field, so make sure to put something in there before moving on. Once you have filled out any required or necessary custom fields, there are a few additional settings that you can choose to further customize your mailing. Note that all of these additional settings have been set according to the profile you chose. So if I chose a different profile right now, I might see a different tracking label right here, or a different location or a different department. But if you would like to stick with the same profile and just change one of these options, then you can do so. Selecting which tracking label you want will determine what your banner page will look like and what information is displayed on it, for example, custom fields. Or your location if your company operates out of different areas. Or you can select a different department if you want this piece to be correlated with a specific department from your company. How to manage your tracking labels, locations, and departments will all be covered in separate videos. The next step is to set up email notifications to receive proof of acceptance emails and proof of delivery emails. To do this, select an email address from the drop-down, or type in a one-time email address to send proof of acceptance and proof of delivery documents to. Note that if you need to send it to more than one address, you can do so, just separate with a semicolon. After you've selected the email you want, check the boxes for both proof of acceptance and proof of delivery. Note that all of this can be configured in the profile settings, meaning depending on what profile you choose, it can generate the email you would already want to be here. The profile settings can also be configured to not allow you to change email notification settings on this page. So if you're not able to change the settings, it's because of how the profile you selected is configured. And the final step in creating a certified mail piece is to make sure you have the extra services you want selected. You can view the definitions for each of these services by clicking the question mark here. This is also automatically filled in by the profile that you selected. And if you find that you're unable to configure this or check any of these checkboxes, it's also because of the settings in your profile. So you can see the reason we choose our profile first, because it automatically configures everything in our additional settings, which means we normally don't have to change anything here when creating a piece. After checking to ensure all of your specifications are correct, click the green Save button to create the tracking number and proceed to the mail queue, which is where we stage the piece before then submitting it to the USPS. Alternatively, you can also save and create similar, which will save this piece to the queue and allow you to make another piece without changing any of the settings that you've already set for this piece. You would just need to provide a new address. This is the manual certified mailing queue, and it is where our pieces are staged before we send the tracking information to the USPS. Here you can edit your piece details, delete your piece, or download your banner page. You need to print off your banner page before sealing your envelope so it can be folded and inserted into the envelope with the address and barcode visible. If you need to download multiple banner pages at a time, simply check the checkboxes for the pieces you want banner pages for, and then click Download Banner Pages up here. After making sure everything is in order, check all the pieces that you would like to submit to the USPS. I'm going to select all 3 pieces in my mail queue. Then you need to come up here and click Submit Pieces to USPS. Submitting your pieces to the USPS will activate that tracking label on your banner page and allow the piece to be tracked in e-Certify. This is a crucial step because without submitting the piece to the USPS, your tracking label will not be recognized and could result in missing or incomplete tracking. So always remember to submit your pieces to the USPS before you actually put these mail pieces in the mail. After submitting these pieces to the USPS, I'm going to be taken to this confirmation page. We can see that all the pieces I just submitted were submitted as one single job to the USPS. From here, make sure to download the firm book or the Postal Service Form 3877 under the action columns here. Taking this document to the post office along with your pieces and getting it stamped right here will allow you to keep the post office accountable for any pieces of mail in this job that might be lost in transit or not make its way to the intended destination. Now if we go to the mail pieces page over here, we can see the 3 pieces we just submitted, along with tracking info and other actions. And if we go to the jobs page right here, we can see the job we just submitted, which contained those 3 pieces. We can also view the 3877 from here. The status currently says sent to USPS, but will change to accepted very soon. And that is how to create a certified mail piece from start to finish and how it empowers you to complete your daily tasks as efficiently as possible.